Ambitious and motivated are words that describe you best. Then you're on the right place. This is Motivational Radio, friends, from Paris, with your host, Longi Agoha.
History and experiences to show to you the possibilities in life. You see, motivation and inspiration goes far beyond positive thinking. It's not just the whole exercise to psych you up that it is possible. Yes, you can say, okay, they appeal to your emotions, but it goes just beyond telling you that you think positive. No, because it's actually showing it to you that, yes, it's positive in your outlook, but come and see. So was in this similar situation some time ago, but because he or she did this, and this, he was able to get out of the mess. So from those experiences, from those historical background, you too can actually get out of this. So it draws on experiential information to tell you that you can make it, you can get out of whatever situation you find yourself. And the last one I'll talk about is it builds your faith. I know we are not talking about religion here, but doing what the person actually did. There's every tendency that you wake up that, okay, if this man did this and he got out of the mess, that means that I can actually do it too. So directly on that, you can say it actually builds your faith. Now I'll go back to the four things motivation and inspiration does. One, it stimulates you to raise the bar in your quest for positive change in your life. Number two, it encourages you and gives you support that there is a way out if you find yourself in any negative situation. Then number three, it ignites the fire for you to venture, because you know that without venturing, there is a pass or fail. But if you don't venture at all, you have already failed. Then the last one is it draws on history. Last but one, it draws on history and experiences to show to you possibilities. Then the last one is it builds your faith. I'm sure that should be more than enough to answer the question you asked.
Right. Yeah, I guess that would be great. The thing is, you said it makes you, it raises the bar. Okay. Now, who raises the bar? The motivation or the person motivated?
It is the motivator that tells you, okay, let me look at it from this point of view. I'm a class, I'm teaching somebody, I'm talking to somebody. Now, I'm speaking to your intellect, I'm speaking to your senses that, you can do it. By the time I finish talking, by the time I finish showing you the possibilities in the situation you find yourself, you raise your bar that, I thought my limitation is 10, but now from what this man has told me, I think I can do beyond 10. I can actually do 20, I can do 40. So everything that I've done, everything that I've spoken in your direction, they will raise your hope. They will raise your perception about yourself. I mean, we are not trying to psych people up here. We are just telling them, we're just trying to show to them that it is possible, that you can actually do it yourself. That if any man somewhere has done it before, it shows that you too can do it.
Okay, so it's in fact, motivation is about convincing the person's intellect that this is possible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It is showing to you that if somebody has done it before, that person does not have two heads. So you too, you can do it.
Yeah, because I believe that one of the reasons why people fail to do the things they are supposed to do is the fact that they do not see it in themselves. Because when you don't believe you can do something, then you're defeated. Right? You're defeated already. If you're convinced within yourself that you can't do this thing, no matter what it is, then it will be very, very, very difficult. So you need an external person to say, hey, you have all it takes to do it. I see the greatness in you, and I know it is possible for you to do it. Okay? And so that person will begin to shift the mind, the paradigm in the person will begin to shift from that negative position to a positive aspect. Because it's all about perception, the way we perceive ourselves and our skills and the competencies we have. That determines exactly the height we rise to. And so if anybody who is not in that position of seeing himself or herself positively, it will be very difficult for that person to do the things that he's supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And so that is one of the reasons why, I guess, people fail, because of the fact that they look at themselves negatively. They don't see it for themselves. They believe they do not have the skills to do the things they are supposed to do. And maybe they do. They are very, very qualified to do it, just that they don't see it in themselves.
Yeah. Perception is critical in life. Perception is critical. It's how you think about yourself that is the way. That's why the good book says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was trying to say here. Because one of the reasons why people fail is the fact that it's the issue of perception. It's the issue of perception. When you look at yourself in the mirror, what do you tell yourself? Are you saying that I'm capable, I can do it, and all that? I take example of people when I coach people who are going for interviews, for example, a job interview. Before stepping into the office, you decide in your head if you're going to get a job or not. You see, that's one of the things people, you can't change such situations. Basically, you can't. It's very difficult unless the person has agreed to say, yes, this job is for me, I can do it. And once the person steps into the office, even the guy who's going to interview would see it in your eyes that this guy needs this job. He has what it takes.
Yes.
He is ready for the job. All right. And so that is why people, in spite of their degrees, in spite of their qualifications, they still fail at basic things. And that one of them is perception. And the problem is that the perception is not taught in school, you see.
It's never taught in school. It's never taught in school.
Yeah, I think one of the basic things in life, the things we need, many of them are not taught in schools. The things that really make us to who we are, many of them are not taught in schools. You see, I teach what I call soft skills. And these soft skills, many of them are not taught in schools, okay? And those things, because you can go to the university and study computer engineering, for example, but what will make you get a job as a computer engineer is much more than you being a qualified computer engineer, all right? Because the guy who's going to interview you,
there are so many things outside skills
that
you need to equip yourself with that will make you function very well in the job.
Exactly.
So most of those things are not even taught in school.
They are not taught in school. And that is why people fail in spite of their qualifications, in spite of what they have. They say, we went to the university and spent 5 years and he hasn't got a job. He doesn't have that much. He doesn't do that and all that. Because he went to study one particular thing, okay? And they forget that life is a bundle of so many things. For you to succeed in life, you need to have other skills other than what you have studied. You need to go to the university or, training for other skills that are not in the school curriculum.
If I have my way, I think our educational system, we should add, apart from the regular courses we offer, they should add life applicable skills. I mean, skills that will help you to fit into the society very well. Skills that will help you to fit into the workplace very well. Skills that will help you to run your entrepreneurial ventures very well. I think we need to add them to our...
I agree more than 100% with you, because I believe today with experience, and I know that qualification is not enough. You need to have other embedded skills. You need to have other things that will really, bring you out. Because when you come out with your certificate and then you look at it and then you look at yourself, you say, hey, I'm not cooked enough. I'm not qualified enough, because there's always that insufficiency in the person. He feels that he has not read enough. He doesn't have all the knowledge that he needs to operate. And when you are in that position, whatever, even if you have 100 degrees, even if you have 100 degree certificates, you would just sit down at home and start looking at your certificates without being able to use them. But somebody can get an ordinary degree or just one single degree and performs more than somebody who has 10 of them. That's it. And so that thing that makes him perform is much more than what is learned in school.
I agree with you totally.
Yes, sir. All right. Totally. I hope we're not delving out of this situation now. So, can we be motivated and inspired at all times? If yes, how can we do
Yes,
it?
we can. Somebody said all these motivational speakers, they come tell you this, they tell you that, and you feel so hard after some time to your status quo where you were before.
Your regular life.
He said motivation programs, our CD programs, DVDs, all those things. That's why daily affair. If you make it a daily affair, I'm sure. So
Okay.
it's not just
right. I agree with you that yes, it's very, very difficult to be motivated at every minute unless you have an external source that pumps you up. It's like exercising, in fact. Every morning, any normal sportsman will go out to exercise. So I believe any normal person who wants to be motivated must listen to cassettes, watch DVDs, or, lots of materials out there that can help you keep you motivated at all time. You have to have a source where you would have to listen to people, motivational speakers, who would really, ginger you at all times. Because if you don't, you just listen to somebody for just maybe 1 hour or 2 hours, and you go back home, you go back to your normal troubles, your normal problems. And after 2 days, you've forgotten all that he said. There was somebody who said that when you speak to somebody after 5, 6, 7 hours, that person must have forgotten about 60% of what you said. After one day,
more than that.
Okay. After 1 day here, you will only remember about 10% of what you said. Okay. But the person will never forget how he felt while you were speaking. Right. So it's all about the feeling, the emotional state of that person. I always believe in that emotional aspect of the human being, because we're all emotional human beings. Every decision you take in this world is based on your emotional state. And so if that emotional state is positive, you tend to take positive actions. If it is in the negative in a position, it will be very difficult for you to take a positive action when it is in the negative. This podcast was brought to you by the Motivational Radio France with their host, Lonjago in Paris.